Hello everyone and welcome back. Last time we left off, we were putting a cage in the NSX with my good friend Riley Stair at his shop in Sacramento, RS Motorsport. We talked a little bit about the materials we were using, some of the challenges involved in it, and one of the things we talked about was the legality of the cage and street class rules, which is a bit of a unique challenge because often when you're building a race car, the rules essentially say when it comes to a cage, do whatever you want. But Global Time Attack and a lot of the time attack organizations are pretty strict about interior rules because people have often used this safety kind of argument to just push the boundaries and essentially have a limited class interior essentially in a street class car. So to counteract that, they've been very strict with the rules, which is, you know, it's the same for everyone. It's not as though they're strict for me or anyone else. And that's kind of one thing I like about Global Time Attack. The rules are the rules and they will call you out on it if they don't think that you're following them. And even with this cage, you know, we worked with them pretty closely to try and find a happy medium between the street class rules and getting a very safe, tight-fitting cage. One of the things was that they have a strict no gusseting rule, that you can't have gussets from the cage to the body. And with the quality of Riley's fabrication, you can literally make a cage to the point where it's touching the body, almost the entire cage, or the entire length of the cage. And they consider that a gusset, which while it's not a physical gusset that you see, you know, you'll see like the big plates, typically the bigger the plate, it's just because the cage fits poorly to the car. Riley's cages fit so well that they essentially are a strengthening member without adding any material. This is common in pro cages. You'll see it where the cage is essentially touching the body the whole way around. And they told us we couldn't do that. So with how well Riley fit the cage, it was almost touching, but they told us we had to have a paper gap throughout the entire cage, which we do. And that's almost harder than making it fit against the body, because what happens is if you know, to put it up against the body, get it fitting perfectly, that is a challenge in itself. But then to get it like that and then back it off essentially a millimeter all the way around the cage is incredibly difficult. But as expected with Riley, he did it. He sent me quite a few updates and it looks incredible. So I asked him to take some video and share it with you guys. I promised I would be a little bit better with the channel this year about showing you some of the updates on the NSX and kind of how I got there versus just the end of like, okay, this is what it is, we're done. So I'm gonna go ahead and let him show you the cage, and you can kind of see the process and the progress a little bit over halfway there.
All right, Riley here, up here at my shop, RS Motorsport, up in Sacramento, California. Got Amir's car here, just buttoned up the front half of his cage, so he asked if I could do a walk around video and kind of show you guys what's going on, a little update. So I'm gonna turn you guys around and show you what we got. All right, so like I was saying, here at the shop, chugging Red Bulls, trying to finish up Amir's front half of his cage. So buttoning up the taco plates on this deal. So we got your door bars, Bode door bars. So push them into the door as far as we could, keeping the glass in the regulators. Got a straight FIA bar with taco gusset to the upper door bar, dash bar. So kind of all your standard stuff. On this side we got, you can see the FIA bar, the A-pillar support tube goes up to that support that transfers the load into the roof X. So really trying to note all of our joints here. You can see on that side, we got the base plates. They are bolted and bonded, really stuck in. They are permanently affixed to the car at this point. A little bit of a head scratcher on an aluminum car, but got it sorted. Overall, very, very happy with how the cage is turning out. The fit is quite tight within the rules. So trying to keep paper clearance all the way around. Not allowed to gusset in this class. So it's about as tight as it can get, you know, per the rules, and that's of paramount importance in this deal because very small car and want to give Amir as much space as we can, not only for safety but also for comfort. So really push the cage out to pretty much maximum width and height everywhere. Your belt bars, diagonal, kind of all your normal stuff. Overall, a very good looking cage in my opinion, which I think is usually just a byproduct of a well-fitting cage. That is the most important, well-fitting, safe. You know, those are the things you're really after. Overall, very, very happy with it. Gonna finish welding the taco plates on the door bars and the FIA bars. And then the front half will be pretty well buttoned up. So we'll move on to the back. The back is relatively unorthodox. Amir does have to keep the rear glass per the rules. So with that, have to come out much higher than that at an odd angle, but you know, you got to work with what you got. So I get these tube clamps from Rough Stuff Specialties. They are a solid chromoly peg. unfortunately for Amir, quite heavy, but solid chromoly peg, and then a very thick chromoly sleeve that slips over, and then your bolts go in the bottom, so it doesn't depend on your bolts for all the shear strength like some of the other clamps that I see out there. So very nice product. So I use those, and then we are going to miter the down bars to those. Those are going to go down to the strut towers. You're going to have a spreader, diagonal, kind of the standard stuff, but it will be removable entirely so that Amir can service the engine, pull the engine out if need be, without having to fight the cage and wrestle through the cage and everything. So with that, I'm going to get back to the Red Bull and the welding and finish this deal up. And next time you guys see it, Amir will be picking it up to go racing and do what he does. And thankfully, quite a bit safer, so we can all sleep a little bit better at night, because number one priority is keeping our boys safe. So with that, I'm going to get back to it.
All right, so as you guys can see, Riley has done an amazing job on the car. He is nearly finished. I know he has about 3 or 4 days left is what he told me to get everything done, so that way I can go grab it. The car is amazing. The cage is incredible. I'm going to feel quite a bit safer, much better than the Cusco suicide machine that I had in there before. One of the great things about Riley is that he got that done in about, I'd say, 10 days, if that. And with every other fabricator I've dealt with, it's basically been like there's a deadline and they almost overshoot it by 2 to 3 times. Riley beats every deadline I've ever asked him for, and I feel bad, but I do it to him way too much, where I'm like, hey, I need this done in this amount of time, and he always knocks it out in the given time frame. So I can't thank him enough for that, and for the incredible work on the cage. The next time you see us, we will have a finished cage, and the car will be done. So from there, we'll basically have about a week to get to COTA, and it'll be a rush. We were hoping to make a few more changes to the car, but due to the time frame and moving shops, that took up the vast majority of the time. So we'll have the ABS and the cage for COTA, and the cage is gonna make a big difference in the way the car handles, so hopefully we can get it dialed in before COTA, get one test day in, and then we'll have a big development schedule from there out. So I'll keep you guys along for that, and next time I see you, the NSX will be back in LA and ready to go.